Ate peanuts had a 2 times higher likelihood of reversing their metabolic syndrome than those in a control group. The study is a first of its kind to look at the effects of peanut consumption on a medical classification that, according to the American Heart Association, affects approximately 23% of all adults. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions that increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, stroke, and diseases related to fatty buildup in artery walls. Those with metabolic syndrome are 5 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes and 2 times more likely to develop cardiovascular disease within 10 years as someone without it. So this is very important. The 12-week study dietary intervention was conducted last October through 2018 and is very important to the peanut industry. Good news for peanut farmers.
For generations, we've worked the land. We've faced hardships and uncertainty before, but you can depend on Florida's farmers. We will continue to rise before dawn and harvest our crops, ensuring that Florida-grown fruits and vegetables are in your stores and that your family is fed. We are providers for our families and yours. We're Florida's farmers, and we're in this together.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Very cloudy today with a strong thunderstorm this afternoon and a high of 76 to 82. Then we'll have an evening thunderstorm around. Otherwise cloudy tonight, low 59 to 67. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, high tomorrow 64 to 75. Then plenty of sunshine on Friday. High on Friday 63 to 67. Partly sunny on Saturday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
My TD Life. Yes, My TD Life. Hi, Trevor DeShaw here, and I will be on WOCA coming Monday, December 21st at 9:05 a.m. to give you ways to take advantage of market gains while avoiding any and all losses to your primary money. Listen in to this Money Monday My TD Life segment at 9:05 right here on WOCA, and check out my website, www.mytdlife.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. You need to relax. It's only a drive away. I'm talking about Miami Beach, Florida. Yes, that Miami Beach with its 7 miles of beaches, its international cuisine, and its art and culture. And you could win a hotel stay in Miami Beach and a tank full of gas. But you can only win if you call in and give us your name and phone number. Call 352-732-8000. That's 352-732-8000. Paradise, Miami Beach, only a drive away from your friends here at WOCA, The Source. Now I got the privilege of talking to someone who has walked a mile in the shoes, and she's going to tell us about it. She defected from East Germany's communism and socialism regimes. We're talking about B. Arthur Sabina Ekhart. She joins us on the phone now. Miss Ekhart, good morning to you, and thank goodness, thank the good Lord, you made it out of the Soviet bloc alive.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. It's an honor to speak to you. And believe me, it was not an easy defection. It was not. Socialism, communism is the worst that any country could be befallen on, and I don't wish it on anybody, and I don't wish it for America either.
Tell us a little bit about what took place to get you from East Germany to America.
Well, I wrote a book about it, so naturally, like most authors, I would say, please be so kind and buy the book, which is called That Was the Moment. But I mean, I went, actually, my brother defected before me on New Year's Eve. He said to me, and my nickname is Biene, and he said, Biene, I am not going to come home tonight. I'm never going to come home again. My brother and I, and we were very close, still are. And I had never saw him later for the next 20 years. It was very heartbreaking. But then when I graduated from high school, living under communism, you are being told what to do, what profession to follow, and just simply do whatever they tell you to do. And I'm afraid that is going to befall on us if the other party is going to become president. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to soil my lips with their name. I just don't wish to do it. I'm just horrified if the other party is going to move into the White House.
So it sounds like what you're saying is the life you were living in East Germany, you were basically in prison. You had no control over any of your decisions. You were in prison.
Literally, that's about what it is. Because communists will tell you what to do, what to think, when to go to sleep, when to wake up. It is totally under their control. As a matter of fact, after a while, after the Second World War, when my father came back, he was a prisoner of war for 13 years, unfortunately, so I grew up without him. When he came back, we addressed him as sir because we just didn't know the man, okay? But communists even told us you have to save on electricity. So every day between 2 and 4, you had to shut off electricity. You couldn't do your ironing. You couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. So we put blankets in front of the window so people, just in case my mother had the urge to turn on some lights, that nobody would see us or nobody would squeal on us. Your neighbors will squeal on you, just like that former ice skating queen. What was her name? Katie Smith or something. Smith was her name. And she was a big communist. Everybody knew that, and that's why she was promoted, and why she was given help to become an ice skating. So Katie Witt, that was her name. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing now, but she did squeal for the communists. It's a very, very sad and controlled life.
My grandfather, who grew up right outside of Frankfurt, left in 1933 because of the fascist regime
Hitler.
that was in control, Hitler. And but my grandfather always said, as he settled in Wisconsin, Schmitz being a good German name.
Very German, yes. yes.
He always said that upon talking to family members that were still in Germany that didn't leave when he left in 33, that they would say that the way Hitler treated, and this wasn't the way Hitler treated Jews, but the Germany of Hitler was terrible and horrible and
Absolutely
just ridiculous.
Horrible.
And it was comparable to the horrors that you were facing now with the communists and how they were running Germany.
Absolutely, and it was horrible. And my brother, who is 4 years older than they actually wanted him to join the Hitler Youth, which he did, kind of walked himself around a bit. And then when he graduated, the communists wouldn't even allow him to graduate unless he was joining the group which was called Free German Youth, Freie Deutsche Jugend. And he did not want to do it till about a day before graduation from high school. They finally allowed him to graduate, and that was about in August. And then when he made up his mind, that was it. But he didn't tell me because I was a sister who's 4 years younger, and he didn't know if he could trust me totally. But later on, 4 months later, over New Year's Eve, he finally trusted me, and he said, "I'm not coming back. That's it."
Does communism touch every facet of your life, from the moment you wake up till you go to sleep?
Every facet, Mr. Schmidt, every facet. Even when you sneeze, don't sneeze in that direction, sneeze in the other direction. And I'm just so terribly afraid because I truly believe, I can't prove it, but I truly believe that this election this year was fixed. And I defected. I went through so many horrifying events. And as I said, if I may kindly ask you, if you have a chance, buy my book, That Was the Moment. It will describe to you exactly what I did to escape communism and to come over to this country and to live a free life, which I have enjoyed. I mean, I'm an American citizen now, and I enjoyed my life in America tremendously. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, but I don't want somebody else to sit in the White House. What our present president did, and as a matter of fact, he is from German extraction as well, from the 1930s or something. what he did, whatever he promised, I think about 90% or 95% of it, he fulfilled his promises and did what he promised to do. He's not a politician. I understand that. He's a businessman, and that's probably why he was able to accomplish what he did accomplish. And I'm very sad. I will be very sad if he cannot remain another 4 years up there. Really.
What do you say? We're talking with B. Arthur Sabina Ekhart. She is a lady who defected from East Germany's communism and socialism. She's now an American citizen, and she's very concerned that communism and socialism are starting to take over and will take over if the Biden administration is sworn in on January 20th. Let me ask you this. What do you say to people that say, yes, but with the socialism the way we want it, the way we see it, the Biden people see it, it's not telling you what to do, when to do. It's just taking from the very wealthy to give to the very poor, because if the government doesn't do that, the very wealthy would never help the poor. We're just helping the poor is all we're doing.
They're not helping the poor. Look at all those food lines and everything else. They are not helping the poor. I'm sorry, sir, they're not doing it. I'm doing my share. I do volunteer work. As a matter of fact, I married a Polish young man who unfortunately passed away. But, I've always, from the day I came here, I volunteered before I even knew what it was all about, to the peanuts and everything else. And even to this day, even though I'm not a Catholic, I volunteer at a Catholic charity and so on. But the people who are really supposed to help these people who don't have anything or maybe are not able to think for themselves, they are not being helped. And I'm very sad about that.
They are not being helped. I agree with you 100%. But that's the argument they use is we're doing that because we need to take money from the wealthy to make sure that
yeah, but how do we do that?
Yeah, how do we do that?
Yes, you tell me. How do we do that?
I think we do it well now. I think that it's through the taxes that are paid and the way. By the way, Warren Buffett said he's giving away almost all of his wealth by the time he dies to charities. So I think it's in perfectly good shape. I don't think there needs to be government mandates to tell me how I should spend my hard-earned money, and that's what you're saying.
But they will tell you.
Yeah, of course
they will tell you. That's the problem. If the other fellow goes into the White House, they will tell you what to do. Look at this. Apparently, the present president gave $4 million to help people, particularly in Wisconsin. $2 million never came to the place or to the organization where it was supposed to go. When
did you, as you saw this election taking shape, as you saw the election cycle taking shape, when did it become a serious concern for you that communism and socialism may be taking control of the White House or maybe taking control of the federal government?
The minute they said that the other party was going to win. But we all knew that it was... I don't know, it probably started a couple of years ago already that they worked on it, that they did not want President Trump to remain in the White House. I think he's a great fellow. I'm sure he's not perfect. None of us are. And he might have done a few things that I would not have agreed with. But I think it started about 2 years ago when they worked on it and that I don't want to mention any names. I don't want to commit myself. But I mean, about 2 years ago, I think they started working on it that Trump will not remain in the White House. And then when I was voting the day on November 3rd, it was a beautiful day here, as a matter of fact, sunshine and warm weather. But here in Chicago is so democratic. You can't talk to anybody about Trump. You can't wear your Trump button. I wouldn't dare wearing my Trump button go outside. I wouldn't dare. Or put a picture of Trump in my window, even though I live in a high-rise. I wouldn't do that because I would be afraid that they're going to smash in my window. They're all so bobsmacked and so fed into it that the other party is the greatest. Even so, look at him. The man doesn't even, he can't even think for himself. And when he had that discussion with President Trump, you could see he was wearing a wire. Did any of the news organizations like CNN, NBC, and all this, nobody mentioned it. But the man can't even think for himself. So the big communists, they will come up and they will tell him exactly what to do. So he will be under their power exactly like I am and exactly like you will be.
You lived in East Germany during the Soviet bloc, during the...
No.
You did not?
No. I was born in Berlin, Tempelhof, which is the west side of it, okay? But years ago, a wife would still follow her husband no matter where he was. So when my father finally came back in 1951, we were living in West Berlin, Tempelhof, where now is the airport. My mother followed her husband back to the east. So in 1952, 53, I'm thinking, we all moved to East Germany. And then when my disaster years started, and I lived under communism for 4 years. When I graduated from high school, I was told to either be a lineman or a bricklayer. What is this for a girl who wants to be a girl, who enjoys being a girl? What kind of a profession would that have been?
Let me, in your 4 years of living in communism and the communism in Eastern Germany, they say that everybody's equal. Everybody from the lowest man on the totem pole to the highest man, they get the same food, they get the same treatment, everything's the same. Everybody's equal. Is that the truth? Is that the truth?
That is an absolute truth, Mr. Schmidt. Absolutely truth. Everybody is equal. Nobody is just like in Rollerball, that movie. You're just not allowed to be better than the next person, okay? And you're poor like the next guy who's just standing right next to you. But the sad part is that your neighbors will squeal on you if you do anything that does not coincide with communism. Then they will squeal on you. They will go to the police or to the government. I know my parents were broken in under the communistic regime, and then they came and arrested my parents because they said they did that themselves. My parents spent a month in prison. Can you imagine that? They said they stole from themselves because my father had a grocery store, okay, and he still had a vineyard, and he was still considered a communist because in 1940 his parents had 12 employees, and that made him a capitalist. And you can't be a capitalist under communism. That's plain as simple as it goes.
Well, B. Arthur Sabina Ekhart, she's a woman who escaped communism and socialism through defection to the United States, and she shared her story with us today in the hopes that we wake up and understand that this is not the life that we need to live in the United States. Miss Ekhart, thank you for joining us this morning.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Schmidt, and I hope enough people listen. And as I said, I don't want to be repetitious, but if you do have a chance, kindly go on my website, which is beatesabine.com, and you can purchase my book there, and you see exactly what I went through to escape communism, socialism, communism, to come to this free, beautiful country.
Thank you so much, Miss Ekhart. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's a really moving interview there. If you got a comment, 622-9622 is the number to call. Miss Ekhart, she lived a life of socialism. She lived a life of communism behind the steel curtain of the Eastern Bloc that was the Soviet Union in East Germany. So she's walked a mile in the shoes, folks. She knows a little bit more about what she's talking about than we do when it comes to communism. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hi, this is Sonny calling. My family comes from either Germany or Norway. And I can remember right up until around 1970, we used to make up packages and send them to Germany because it took that long, really, for the people where, the German people where our family lived or came from, to actually start a life as we know it. And I can tell you that things were hard.
Well, Miss
And,
Ekhart,
a lot of people did not like the German people because of the Holocaust and other things that took place during World War II. But you got to remember, it was, as your guest said, it was controlled by either fascist, communist, or whatever. And before, in the 30s, early 30s, it was almost out-and-out war between fascism by Hitler or socialism by communism. And our histories, they don't tell you all this in history books and things. So,
as a guy who has a master's degree in history, Sonny,
I have family that lived through a lot of this stuff.
Hey, as a guy who has a master's degree in history, Sonny, we leave a lot out of the history books.
Well,
there's untold history.
For some reason, I can't hear you so good on the phone. But anyway, this is, the way it was. There was a lot of people that lost everything but their lives, and they're very happy to have their lives.
You're entirely correct. Thanks for the phone call, Sonny. Got to go to another call. Let me get rid of that one and go to this call. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Jim. There was a picture made around late 1949, early 1950 called The Big Lift. And it was about the Berlin blockade and the soldiers that carried the food in the airplanes between the East and the West. And it's a pretty good movie if you ever get a chance to see it. And it shows that 5 years after the war, things were still pretty nasty in Germany.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Jim.
So,
Jim always on the spot with a good movie to watch for historic sake. Just a very good interview with Miss B. Arthur Sabina Ekhart, and her giving you a firsthand knowledge of what it's like to live under a government regime that tells you what to do, how to do, and when to do, which is where I believe the most progressive of the Democratic parties, the AOCs, the young lady that's from Minneapolis, I forget her name, the representative from Minneapolis. I believe that's where they want to see this party go. Bernie Sanders. I believe that's where they want to see this party go, where everybody has the same thing. My question is, if everybody has the same thing, does that mean Congress and all go as well? Because right now, the Affordable Care Act is for you, but not for Congress. They don't have to join it. We do, but they don't have to. And that was the problem with communism, was they told the people, this is the life you need to live. But then the leaders of the Communist Party, the proletariat in Russia and in these Eastern Bloc countries, lived like fat hogs off the backs of the people that they said they were helping to make equal, when in actuality they were putting them farther and farther into poverty while they lived and became fat cats. Sound familiar, Washington, D.C.? It's a very difficult situation, and one that I hope through voting in Georgia for two U.S. senators, so that the Republicans can control at least one of the chambers of Congress, to keep in check what I fear will be a situation that will run rampant communism-wise and socialism-wise, if not kept in check. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Hi, this is Sonny calling back.
Sonny, we got about 1 minute.
Yeah. With communism, don't forget, everybody's equal, but some people are more equal than others.
Yes.
And the other thing, referring to Washington, you never heard of a poor politician.
Never ever, Sonny.
Have a great day.
Thanks for the call. You've never heard of a poor politician. Sonny is entirely correct about that. We got time for one more call. Got about 45 seconds if I could get my computer to work. There we go. Hi, caller. Who's this? Hello, caller.
Hey, Tom. It's Mark the Marine.
Hey, Mark. See, now here's a sensible
you're
Democrat.
An educated guy.
Here's a
I'm
sensible
not.
Democrat.
I didn't finish college like you did, and I respect you. I would just let the listeners know, and I appreciate Sonny. I always listen to Sonny. We don't have the same outcomes politically, but he's got life under his belt, and he said something that a lot of Americans don't realize. The Germans and the Italians were fascists, and I know being a history major, you would know that. And actually, we on the left are really opposed to fascism. We think,
100%.
We think that workers, ma'am. Sorry about that. We think that workers, Tom, should have a say-so. To some degree, Tom, it's not communism or socialism versus capitalism. And the Chinese have created more millionaires in the last 10 years than any other country in the world. So, and I'm not defending China. I'm trying to defend my country. So I think we need a blend of worker representation and capitalism. And it ain't going nowhere. I'm a big leftist. Or I'm just an FDR Democrat, Tom. So I think that's where Americans get to break down. The Republicans using a vicious campaign with language, and it's really uncalled for.
You're more of a Sam.
Can I get some ketchup?
You're more of a Sam.
Okay,
you're more of a Sam. You're more of a Sam Nunn FDR Democrat than you are an AOC Democrat.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
And
Tom,
I'm worried about the AOCs of the Democratic Party more than I am the Marks of the Democratic Party.
Hey, Tom. I'm also the man that ended up in the wheelchair, Max Cleland, Democrat.
Yeah, I like Max.
That's a brave Georgian right there,
Max was a great guy. Hey, thanks, Mark, for the call. We're going to take a short time out. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. A great interview we just had with B. Arthur Sabina Ekhart. She was talking about living in East Germany. She knows a little bit about living under socialism and communism, and she shared her story with us. Go check her out. BArthursabina.com is her website. Go check her book out. She wrote a book about her trials and tribulations of living in East Germany under the Soviet rule at the time. We'll come back after this timeout. We got some more stories. I'm going to tell you about the FDA and Moderna, where they are at right now with their vaccine. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Casting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Georgia officials are launching an investigation into Cobb County and say they didn't follow proper procedures when matching signatures on Election Day. In a press conference on Monday, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announced his office will be conducting a probe on absentee voter signatures on ballots. A nor'easter was on target to slam parts of mid-Atlantic and New England states starting Wednesday, bringing heavy snow, strong winds, and some coastal flooding. According to AccuWeather, the nor'easter was anticipated to bring more snow than all of last year's combined in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. Freezing rain and ice accumulations were also expected for parts of North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. An organizer to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom attributes the effort's momentum not to any blue or red tide, but a citizen's tide based on the governor's hypocritical actions during the pandemic. Annie Dunsmore of Rescue California 2021 said Tuesday that the recall effort is a culmination of many missteps by Newsom. USA Radio News.
Rockstar Radio. Did you know this station, this network, is looking for their next rock star broadcaster? That's right, we are. And it could be you. It could be you interviewing the guests, talking to the newsmakers right in the middle of everything. Have you ever dreamed of being a rock star show host? Now could be your chance. Together with this station, we'll help you with everything you need. The studios, the equipment, your own producer, a co-host if you'd like, and so much more. Broadcasting is changing. There's never been a need for fresh voices and unique opinions like there is right now. You can do this. Our professional team will guide you every step of the way. Sound effects, show content, building your social network media, and everything you need to be the next rockstar broadcaster. Get all the details. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. To get started with your own show, email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Don't wait. You could be the next voice for America. Email bill@rockstar.today.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to. Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Merry Christmas from the Pack Mail Store. Thank you for all of your business in 2020. At Pack Mail, we pack, ship, freight, and crate, a family-owned business since 2007.
Hi, everybody. Brittany Jewell here, and I will be on WOCA Monday, December 21st at 8:35 a.m., where I will inform you how to practice a life of wellness when you come to Be Well. Holistic Massage Wellness Center, treating body, mind, and soul. Again, live on the air on WOCA on Monday, December 21st at 8:35 a.m. See more, www.bewellholisticmassage.com.
That time of year again. You found that perfect gift. Now how to ship it? Well, Just Ship is the answer. Just Ship has a flat rate for package ship and curbside pickup with convenient weekend hours. Plus, even gift wrapping is available. Right now until December 16th, Just Ship will have free pickup or 15% off your total shipping cost. Shop small, ship small. Just Ship is located across from Yandles Building Supply on North Magnolia. Call them at 352-234-3840.
I want a private pilot's license for Christmas. Only a private pilot's license will do. Don't want anything else. No dinky tinker toy. I want a pilot's license is to play with and enjoy. I want to learn to fly an airplane for Christmas. I don't think Santa Claus will mind me. Do you? He thinks it's a great idea. He won't have to use a dirty chimney flue.
Brad, how'd you get in here?
Oh, hey, Dan.
I'm just working on the new commercial.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to make sure that people knew that the best Christmas present was getting their pilot's license.
And not a hippopotamuses?
Well, I thought it was a good idea.
So you thought it was a good idea to butcher a Christmas classic?
Well, not exactly.
Yeah, let's just tell them to go to Ocala Aviation.
Because getting your pilot's license
is the best present ever. Christmas.
Get inspired to take your next vacation close to home and experience Miami Beach. A paradise getaway only a drive away. Take in 7 miles of beautiful beach. Walk historic South Beach. Take in the art and culture. Stroll famous Lincoln Road and taste the international